Don't say this person's name. I feel like saying the person's name. I'm not going to. Person. I went for food with her. She's reasonably well known, right? And in San Carlo in Liverpool. And then I'm sat there. I ordered our food, and this family have walked in, a man, woman, and 2 kids. They were just dressed normal, just like they'd been out for the day to the park or something like that, as anyone would. And this girl who I was with turned around and went, "Oh my God, look at the way they're dressed." So I've looked and went, "Who?" She went, "That family over there." She went, "You'd think they'd come dressed more appropriately to come into a place like this." I went, "Hang on, what do you mean a place like this?" I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Just a family that's been out for the day." She went, "Well, you know, it's San Carlo." I went, "You're going on like San Carlo's a Michelin star restaurant, a fucking shitty San Carlo's that have come here in a fucking trackie." I said, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" I was fuming, right? I said, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" I said, "Your head is stuck so far up your fucking ass." I said, "No, I didn't mean it like that." So I said, "No, exactly how you meant it. You've just been looking down on that fucking family who were just out for the day." I was fuming. And I turned around and she went, no, she tried to defuse the situation because she knew she'd just, a little slimy part had just come out where she thought she was up her own ass. I turned around and said to the waiter, "Can I get a bottle of Cristal champagne?" £250 a bottle it is, right? The food hadn't even come. We were waiting for our food, so he come with a bottle of Cristal. I poured her a drink, yeah. I never had a drink myself. I poured her a drink. I went, "1 second, I'll just go to the toilet." And I just got off and left her, right, at the table, and fucking literally left her at the table and went home. And then she rang me about 20 minutes later and "Where are you?" I went, "I've got off." And she's gone, "What do you mean you've got off?" I said, "I'm not sitting there with you." And she went, the first thing she said was, "There's a bill here that needs paying," like that, right? I said, "A bill that needs paying?" I said, "You drank it, love, not me. I'll pay yourself. See you later." Buttoned, yeah. Next time I went into San Carlo, because it was just up the road from mine when I was living in Liverpool in the city centre, it's at the top of my road. I went into San Carlo, the waiter said to me, "You're right, Sam, I was going to say it, blah blah, said to give you this bill. She hasn't paid it." I said, "What do you mean she never paid it?" He went, "She didn't pay the bill, she just, she said you was going to pay it and walked out." I said, "Go on, Sam." Yeah, so I paid the bill, yeah. I was just laughing with my mate, said, "Fancy that. This person's meant to be like a Z-lister, yeah." And fucking, she just walked out like that, right? And didn't pay the bill. Even though on social media, you think she's absolutely Keiko. But anyway, what happens? About 2 weeks later, seen her in a nightclub, and she's come up to me and went, "How dare you treat me like this?" So what do you mean? So no one has ever treated me like this in my life, or ever walked out on a meal with me. She went saying, "Who do you think you are?" I said, "Hang on, love." I said, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" I said, "Coming up to me on my fucking table." I said, "Go away, or I will get you escorted out this club." She went, "You won't." So I called the doorman over and do us a favour, mate. Get rid of her. And he went, "Oh, lad, fucking hell, Sam, you put me in a bit of a position here, fucking," because she's reasonably well known. I went, "Lad," I said, "she's making a show." So anyway, the doorman said to her, "Look, you're going to have to leave." And she was fucking raging. She got escorted out of the club, right? And literally just got fucked off out the club. But it's a classic example. I've got no time for people that are up their own fucking ass who think they're better than people, because who the fuck are we to judge anyone on what they've got or who they are? Like it doesn't matter how someone's dressed to me. When I meet someone, I don't look at what they're wearing. I don't give a shit if you're wearing a fucking Primark or Gucci. It makes no fucking difference. I look at someone and how they treat me, and that is, I don't look, "Oh yeah, what are they wearing?" Do you know what I mean? It's like, I just hate people who are up their own fucking ass, and she certainly was.